I saw Kako on the ice today. Just wanted to ask, is he ready for tonight, or is he going to need more time? And if he's not ready, is that because you want to get him another practice or two, or are there other protocols he needs to go through?
Yeah, he's still day to day, so he's certainly close. Good to have him back out there. So uh, he hasn't really had a chance. It was his first time on the ice, so we're certainly going to put him in the game at the right time for a variety of reasons.
Hey David,
About
obviously Truba was back on the ice today in a non-contact jersey. What's the latest on him? And then when he does return, I know it's looking a little far ahead, but do you anticipate putting him back with Miller?
Yeah, that's something that obviously will be on the table when he is able to come back. He's certainly made a lot of progress. Like I said, I mean, he's tracking sooner than later from the original diagnosis. So, but he's again, it's a situation where he's day to day, and how he handles each passing day will determine whether he's going to be able to get in the lineup and when he's going to be able to get in the lineup.
Dave, just to take that, just to follow on that, just a minute. You say day to day. I mean, is he really day to day? I mean, I'm not going to tonight, but I mean, could we see him like on this road trip?
Yeah, he is. He's really day to day.
Morning, Coach. The other night you mentioned, although the third period wasn't an artistic gem by any means, and good teams find a way to win. In the past, the young defenseman might have, not known the time and place in a game and try and force a pass or try to. What does that say about the maturation of the team? Granted, only 3 shots on goal, but not taking those high risks, chances.
Yeah, there are nights you're just going to have to find a way, and you may not have your legs for whatever reason, and the game just may not have the pace or the flow to it that you want. And as you pointed out, there are times where in the past, this short season so far, we have found ways to shoot ourselves in the foot and maybe force a play that isn't there when we don't need to. And I thought the other night, even though we didn't get anything going offensively, you're winning 3-2, you didn't really need to. And that doesn't mean you play a conservative style, but you're not going to take reckless chances, and you're going to manage the game and the score, which is something we've had a hard time doing. I thought we did a good job of it the other night.
Yeah, David, just some housekeeping. Is the lineup going to be the same as the other night, and who's the goalie going to be?
Yep, Shesty will be the goalie, and the lineup will be the same.
I was going to ask that very question, but I'll ask this one instead. Like with these guys back at practice this morning, Dave, with Kako and Truba, and even Bitetto. I mean, like, what does that do for the mood of the club? When you go out there, I mean, does that put a pep in everybody's step?
Yeah, it does. I mean, obviously, when you get guys closer to the lineup, you create more depth. You're going to have a better chance to win hockey games, and it keeps everybody. So I'm sure some guys are excited, and some guys are a little nervous. I mean, it's these guys are good players, and they're going to step in the lineup when they're ready to go. So, but overall, it's a good feel, and guys get excited.
How would you evaluate the defense as a whole thus far? What kind of adjustments have you harped on? And then for Libor Hayek in particular, what have you seen from him, and what areas do you think he still needs to work on?
Well, Libor always gives you his all. I mean, he's a competitor, he's coachable, always trying to do the right thing. Libor, as we've touched on, his personality is he's always wanting to please, and I think sometimes he gets a little nervous about doing the right thing, and he's managed that better so far. And there's just a lot of like to his game. I mean, he skates well, he's physical, he's got good stick skills, and he can shoot it. So to me, it's all about putting it all together consistently, night in, night out, shift in and shift out for him to be the player we know he's capable of being.
When you prepare, you focus on your team, but what do you need to do against this team that has pretty much had its way with you for a couple of games, the 2 games you've played against them? Do you need to make specific adjustments against them tonight?
Yeah, I mean, they've beaten us 3 in a row, and I would argue with you that the first night we played them this year, that they had their way. We did have 50 shots on net. But to your point, they've been the better team when we've played them for the most part, 2 of the last 3 games. And we've just got to be more consistent with our effort, Larry. We've just got to match their speed. We've got to play a more honest game against them. And, they're defending well. They got a quick team. They're fast. And we've got to finish checks. That doesn't mean you run out of your way to, maul people, but you've got to win your battles, and you've got to make sure that you're playing through people against this team to slow them down. And we just haven't done that consistently in the games we've played them. So, we understand what's at stake here. I mean, these are important games moving forward here. We're creeping up to the halfway point of the season here, and we've got to start making some hay. And we want to feel good about our effort and our intentions tonight. We think that the games we do that, we usually end up having success.
David, Lindy shook up all his lines yesterday. How much of a concern is that for you, or how do you react to that?
Yeah, I mean, like Larry said, I mean, we spend a lot of time focusing on our team, and there's not a lot we can do about their lineup and who they put with and their lines together. And they got good players there. I mean, they're gonna have lines we're gonna have to be paying attention to and play a certain way against, regardless of who Lindy has playing with each other. So it really doesn't change our approach much.
David, you just touched on creeping up on the halfway point of the season. If you look at the standings right now, we know you guys have had ups and downs, but you're only 6 points out of the fourth place spot in your division. You guys take it one day at a time, one game at a time. We hear that stuff all the time. But is there a feeling that this is a crucial month and you guys need to figure out a way to string some wins together to really get yourselves back in this race?
Yeah, I mean, without question, we feel like we got to do that, and we've got to go on a little bit of a run. And the good news is, with this format, the way the schedule is, when you win and the games you win this year, they're certainly division impactful, because that's all you're doing is playing the people in your division, so you can make a little bit of hay. So, we've just I know it is cliche-ish, but it really is true. You just got to focus on the game in hand, and if you do that, you get a much better chance to string a good stretch together.